What is up, CSGs? Your Houston Rockets just defeated the Guangdong Dragons, as Craig would call them. Shout out to him for the get back on Drake's comments to Fred VanVleet early in the season. But we defeated the Toronto Raptors 114-110 in the game where the Raptors outshot us from everywhere on the court. Played better than us just overall, but we found a way to grit and grind it out in typical Rockets fashion, which has become a calling card for the Houston Rockets. Not shooting well, but finding ways to win these games. Just imagine what our team would look like if we actually could shoot. We'd be a historically great team. But the victory was received nonetheless. Mind you, this was on the road in Toronto, in another country. We had every reason to just quit and take the L, have an excuse, long flight, blah, blah, blah. But they came through and got the dub. And that's really, really what matters in this game. And I think that, we've gotten accustomed to what we are as a team. At this point, the Rockets are what they are. We are a team that is better than bad teams. We're better than most of the decent to good teams, but we may struggle with the elite teams. And that's kind of appropriate. I know there's been a lot of chatter about moving players, trading players. I get all of it. I get that. You watch some of the nights, some nights it does call for you do want to see some changes made. But as long as the wins keep coming in, there's really no rush for the Rockets to do anything, right? As long as you're winning, you're winning. And to me, the fact that we're a top 3 seed in the West with the current roster we have, it just makes no sense to do anything at this current moment. You want to see them make some things happen, possibly on the edges at the deadline, see if they could push it a little bit in the playoffs. Then really what you're going to be looking out for is this coming summer with the Houston Rockets as they move closer to their goal of becoming a championship roster. But overall, great game. Started off really, really slow. Hated the energy. Hated Şengün's energy to start the game. I felt like that first half, some of the laziest defense I've seen from him this season, dragging a bit. Fred VanVleet is non-existent on offensively. Not really adding much to the team, and we found a way to overcome that. Guys woke up in the second half, and Ime talked about it in the post-game conference. But you'd like to see a little more consistency, them take care of business against a bad Raptors team. But I think the character to be able to just find ways to win these games is important. It is important. I do want to highlight a Mr. Jabari Smith Jr., who has been, in my opinion, really balling especially on shooting, man. Jabari's shooting has been really elite. And for the past maybe 15 or so games, he's been really, really consistent on the shooting. I was looking through his stats on NBA.com, and last 15 games, Jabari has been, 42% from 3, 46 from the floor. The 42% on threes on 4.7 attempts. Really can't ask for more than that from him. The defensive effort has been there. He's been really impactful on the weak side shot blocking, averaging 1.5 blocks, actually leading the team in blocks in that stretch of 15 games. And obviously, to me, the baseline I expected coming out of Auburn for Jabari was a guy that is a good defender, that, maybe he's not all world, but at least with the length, you expect him to have some kind of prowess around the rim and then the ability to knock down shots. And for most of the season, he's kind of been that, right? He's been versatile on defense, really blows up a lot of actions, can play a little bit of the small ball 5. As you guys know, I think he has a lot of room to grow when it comes to playing the backup 5. People think just because you're tall and you can shoot means that you can just go out there and play 5. You really can. There's functions within the 5-man role, within that center role, that even a small ball 5 has to function in. One of the most important being screening. I think Jabari's screening has improved over the season, and he's more intentional in actually screening, putting his body in the way, not just looking to slip out of the screens for the 3-pointers, because got to face it, guys, our guards aren't the best in the world, right? We don't have a all-NBA backcourt, so the screening is that much more important to allow those guards to get some space away from defenders. And when he goes in and plays the 5 with an already offensively challenged team, you have to be able to screen. you have to be able to screen and be able to use different angles to screen. And I think if he can lean into that a little bit more, it's going to be more beneficial for those minutes where he does play the 5. But I heard Ime complimenting him. I think Vanessa was kind of reiterating what Ime was talking about with Jabari playing the 5. I think that he needs to lean into that more, because if the Rockets aren't going to get another 5, I can see it, especially as the season goes along, he's going to be playing a lot of 5. Dude's going to be playing a lot of 5, but Jabari has been really on his game. Like I said, 42.3% from 3, leads the team in blocks. During that stretch, he's been just balling on catch and shoot threes. In that 15-game stretch, Jabari shooting 46.8, damn near 47%. Most of his attempts, 4.1 out of the total of, let's see, he's been shooting 4. So almost all his threes are coming off of catch and shoots. And that's really impressive. 46% on catch and shoot threes. 46% on catch and shoot threes. Let me say that again. Jabari shooting 46% on catch and shoot threes on 4 attempts per game. And the next logical statement will be, why isn't he getting more, right? We need to feed him more. Feed him more in the game. In that 15-game stretch as well, Jabari is, let's see what he's doing from the corners. He is shooting 42% on corner threes. You want that a little bit higher. Really needs to work on that. But teams are selling out to try to close out to him there, which does force him to put the ball on the ground. But, you would love to see him more. Left corner, 45%, right corner, 37%. He seems to drive more from the right corner. Usually when we run our actions, the right corner is the strong side. So it's a little easier to get the help for the defense to recover on the strong side of the action, because our guards are right-handed, so they run their actions mostly right. If you had a left-handed guard, then you align Jabari in the right corner, I'm sure if you had a guard that could actually make the pass to the weak side, then his three-point percentage would be a lot more. His three-point attempts will be a lot more. But he's definitely better from that left corner, shooting 45%. And like I said, if you think about how teams help, if you're running a screen, let's say I'm Fred VanVleet, I come down the court, I'm right-handed, I'm going to call, Şengün's going to come up. Usually most of our best actions are our guard going right and then pocket passing down to Şengün on the roll. Or, if they get too much action, they get trapped or blitzed, they'll kick it to the corner. Or if they give it to Şengün to make that right-handed, that right pass to the corner over there. And that's usually where we see a lot of Jabari eat off of those Şengün assists. But, he's been killing it, man. Really proud of, I said earlier in the season or in the preseason, that I expected Jabari to have the biggest leap. I wouldn't say that for me. This has been necessarily the best year for him. I kind of expected more. I'm not gonna lie. I expected what we're seeing now, kind of from throughout the season. But for him to get to this point, life isn't linear, so it's not like guys just pop out in here. It's year 3 or whatever it is. But his progression and progressive development over these games has really, really been good to see, especially a guy that was getting benched a lot early on in the season. But really proud of him. I think he's doing a great job. And he's been really justifying himself, seeing a lot of late game minutes, late closing minutes, been outplaying a lot of different people on the court. And so you really like to see that type of development. And he's still incredibly young. I think he's only 21. And his body is still growing and being defined. So, and that's true for most of the players on our roster, if not all of them, that are from the core 8 or whatever it is now, is that physically they haven't even reached their primes. They haven't, once they start hitting 24, 25, then you see guys start to really fill in. Their muscle fibers get a little tighter. The bone density is a little bit more there, and their strength is really, really, really there. And that's what you call the grown man phase. The grown man strength comes in. So kudos to Jabari, doing his thing. Other standouts. Let's talk about Cam Whitmore a little bit. Cam had a good game today. I think that for me, I could watch him and see him trying to process in real time. Like I literally could see those cartoons that you have a angel and a demon on two sides of your shoulder. On the Angels, on one side is like, Cam, swing the ball. Cam, pass the ball. Cam, take the shot, take the catch and shoot. That's the Angel talking. And the Demon on the other side is like, Cam, let's do 10 dribbles, then attack, crowded paint with 3 bodies in there and try to make a double clutch layup. Cam, let's tween hezzy, take a contested step back 3. Cam, let's just kill the possession. And I would say the Angel won out most of the game. There was a couple possessions early. You saw him fighting through it, like where he was like, hit the dribble a couple times, and he's like, I don't want to go back to the G League. Let me pass it out. And I think Mike, my friend Mike on Twitter, made a good point. You could tell that some of the players are reluctant to pass him the ball. Like I saw a play where Dylan Brooks gave him the ball and was clapping back, like, give me back the ball, because they were like keying in on him, and he passed it back. But I think for him, once again, I'm going to say this, and I think, if you're serious about watching basketball, you understand the game. You understand what I'm saying about Cam Whitmore. He's probably one of the more talented prospects we have when it comes to just his physical ability. Explosive, has the build, has the skill set, the raw skill set to really be a player in this league that could really do a lot of damage on the court. The problem is he has to put it together mentally. Like, one, you're not going to be the star player, right? You have a certain niche role on the court when you're on there. Coach wants you to run in transition, play defense, take the shots, right? Take the shots when they're there. If you have a mismatch, attack it, but not to hijack possessions. The quicker he learns to play within the context of the offense and be able to facilitate and be able to defend and be able to get rebounds as he did today, the more you do that to be a role player, the more he plays a role, he will see more minutes, right? The more he thinks of himself as the main character on the court, his minutes are going to be diminished because it really does throw off the rhythm of the team. I think today he did a fabulous job and was able to see extended minutes probably past what Ime foresaw him actually playing in the game. So like I told y'all, just got to be patient, trust the process with young players. It's really up to him, right? You can't blame nobody on the Rockets, not the coaching staff, not the G League, not Reed Shepherd or whoever people want to blame Jalen for Cam not playing. The only reason Cam isn't playing is because of Cam. And the more he plays like the way he did for most of the game against the Raptors, the more minutes he's going to see. And so, I expect more from him going forward, more of that, right? Swing the ball, run in transition, get dunks, oohs and ahs, be a spark off the bench, but play the right way because he doesn't have the cachet. As fair and unfair, that's not how life doesn't care about fair, bro. You got to, play the cards that you're dealt. And that's really what he has to do. And I think he did a great job in the game versus the Raptors. Other guys on the, Fred, once again, not too much to say about him. Really, even the shot he took late in the game was nuts to me. It was like a 26-footer 3-pointer with like 40 seconds left. I'm like, come on, bro. That's not a great shot. But, it is what it is with him. He still impacts winning in other ways. So you just kind of live with that. Dylan Brooks being our star player for most of the season has been unexpected. I think that is a very welcomed sight. I hope it doesn't backfire in a sense that he gets trigger happy. So far, so good. He's been able to be on when he needs to be and kind of lay off when other guys have it going. So I think that's great for him. Like that he really is justifying his contract and overplaying it by a lot this season. Let's see. Jalen Green, he had a mixed bag game. I think he was okay. Not bad, not great. I didn't like the turnovers, some of the indecision, but overall he made some good drives and forced the issue a couple of times, got it to the cup a couple of times. The shooting was, up and down, but overall, he played decent defense, attacked the guys he was supposed to attack. He was solid. Let's see who else. No Tari today, so I know he would have definitely been a help. Amen Thompson, really solid defense. I like how Amen is playing, man. I'm not gonna hold y'all, bro. I like Amen's progression on ball as a rim pressure guy. I like his ability to attack the glass. You can see the building blocks of things. I like when he gets a little ball hoggish because I kind of want him to break out of the mold of being a role player. And you know what I mean? So I know he's a defensive specialist right now, but I like for him to have moments where he gets to explore some of his game, and I see him try to do that in the midst of games. Sometimes not at the best times, right? Sometimes it comes off a bit CTE-ish, but overall, I think I get the vision, bro. Like to me, he's earned the ability to have a little CTE, if especially the way he plays defense, right? Give him a couple minutes, especially depending on the matchups. If it's not a serious game or a game that's like it's on the balance, yeah, let him play around with his skill set a little bit on the court. So I really like his progression. Şengün needs to be consistent, bro. I know he had a good second half of the game. Did not, like I said, I didn't like the first half. I hold him to the standards of the best player. Like people are voting for him for All-Star. I personally, I'm torn. I don't know if he's played like an All-Star this year, just because of a lot of the inconsistencies. Obviously, he has All-Star talent. I think he's one of the better players in the league, but it's like he is at a crossroads of taking the mantle of being a great player in the NBA and being a good player in the NBA. And it's a lot. Like, you got to know it's a lot for a young player to be able to face constant triple and double teams and have to make all the decisions for your team and be the offensive driver for a team and play defense and make decisions and pass the ball and share and be able to see the court. It is a lot, and it's draining mentally. You could see that on some games it does wear him down, but heavy is the head that wears the crown, bro. And I'm gonna hold him to those standards. I'm not, slacking off on him. Like, if you're gonna, you got to pay the cost to be the boss, bro. If you're gonna be the boss, bro, if we're gonna say that you are the guy on the team, bro, you got to carry, you got to backpack, and he does that. But I need it from the tip. And speaking of from the tip, Craig and Ryan were going crazy with Grady Dick tonight. Oh my God, man. They had a 2-minute stretch where it was just like, they had to be doing that on purpose, bro. Oh my God. I can't even say some of the stuff they were saying. Y'all would get it wrong. Some of the most egregious things. Jabari, what is it? Somebody push. Oh my God. I can't even say it. But shout out to them, bro. Shout out to Craig on that. Like I said, the Guangdong Dragons aligned the bar to close out the game. But it was a good game. It was a good game. CT-ish. Started off, I was about to good game, but it ended off pretty good. Pretty good. I think we have a decent stretch coming up. I expect us to win the next 2 games. We just got to keep winning, man, because the West is loaded, and teams, I still think there's some sleeper teams on the back end of the Western Conference that are not doing great right now in the standings. But once you get closer All-Star game and post All-Star break, there's some of these old head teams are going to pop off. I've seen this movie before. They got different gears, bro. Don't sleep on the Denvers of the world, the Lakers of the world. Don't sleep on them boys. Don't sleep on the Warriors. Get your jokes off about Dre and Steph going over. They still got it, bro. Like, these teams, don't sleep on some of the Suns, even though they're looking like trash right now. The gap between some of the 8th seed and the 6th seed and the 5th, it's not that wide, man. You go on a 2-3 game losing streak and you can find yourself in the play-in. So the Rockets just got to keep stacking these wins. That's why you cannot be mad. However, by hook or crook, however we get it, we got to take these dubs. So, those are my takeaways from this game. I think we're approaching the 30-game sample size. Are we not? Let me see where our Rockets are at. So once we get there, I can do a review because I'm really, really curious to see how we look over these past few games. Yep, we were 19-9. So we have 2 more games till we get to the 30th game of the season. And then we can do our, every 10-game review. Best lineups, all that stuff. I'm really curious. I don't look at it till the actual games come up to see how our team has looked over this stretch. But y'all let me know, what was your favorite part of this Toronto Raptors game? Who was the player of the game? Let me know in the comments and in the chat. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. Keep rocking with the Chop Shop, and we're going to keep dropping that fire.
DJ Candlestick. It's the Chop Not Slap Show.